Okay, I'm going to switch lanes. Um, and a lot of for the past, since 2018, I've been fighting on Twitter. Because I said that's where the battle's at. Okay, I'm putting everything out. Been doing this a long time. I just lost, again, thousands of files this past week. Again, it just happens all the time to me. So and I got a new phone, so I'm off my game a little bit. But as I'm going through in Twitter now, it's not the earthly truth, the what's going on in the world that everybody's waking up to, and I'm so happy that everybody's waking up to that. Okay, but you're not waking up to the heavenly truth. Okay, and this is where you're at odds. Your heart and your mind are still battling. Okay, because so many on Twitter, they don't know the God side, my God school that I've been in, and they don't know that I've done videos, and in my videos from day one, going what he's given me and what he's teaching and showing, and you can see it starts at level 1. Okay, I start out just like everybody else. Okay, believing the same way, the same things, the whole bit, right? I knew this time was important, especially from 2012 on. But that doesn't say also from 2000. But from 2012, there's really... But, so, I start out level base 1 Christian. Think I know it all. Right? Right. Think I know that word back, forth, left, right, up, down. Oh, nope. No. But it was part of the plan. It's part of his plan, right? Started teaching the tools of how to maneuver and what the enemy, the spiritual enemy, okay? I'm talking spiritual enemy. How he gets access to our life and how it's allowed and what we do to open those doors and how important it is to close those doors, okay? So, first of my videos, and I will apologize because it's my life. So these become my friends. So I'm talking about my life and things. And, you're going to have to just figure it out and skip ahead, move back, I don't care. But you're going to know me, because my entire life changed. My world crashed. I couldn't figure it out why. And then through that whole time, he's teaching me why. He had a much grander plan for me, okay? And he had to pull me out of that world. So, and it's not until you stop asking why that he tells you why. So, then I learned to pray for divine, okay? He started showing me the difference between what was earthly, what was heavenly, okay? Heavenly, earthly. But then, that there was, first is 3D, well, there's three layers to start with. There's more, but there's 3 layers to start with. So you see me believing just as everybody did, okay? Talking about the rapture and transformation and, the destruction, apocalypse, and all the good stuff, He started really making me think who he was and who I was taught he was and who he really was. It doesn't go together, okay? So, this is when, hear what the Spirit is saying. So, after 2015, I started really getting it. This is your part of wrestling with God, okay? Because now everything that you knew to be the truth is not the truth, okay? But what he has to do is he has to make you see the other side now. You have to he makes you see it through his eyes, okay? So you have to learn who the good and the bad really are, and why are the bad bad, and why are the good good, and why are they called good, and who's not. I mean, but you're like, well, this is against everything I've ever been taught. So, you really cry, you struggle, okay? You wrestle with God is what you're doing. You're wrestling with him. What happens after you wrestle with him? He blesses you, right? Right. Okay. Get that blessing. And what? You're called Israel. Because people, we don't really understand what Israel is. Okay, that's another thing. You have a lower meaning, you have a middle meaning, you have a higher meaning, okay? Under the ground, okay? Ground level, let's put that, ground level, snake level. Your scales, you're still scaly, okay? Then you have your basement, living room, upstairs roof, okay? So the real truth is hidden in the earth, so which is hidden in us, okay? But it's hidden in the earth, and we are the earth, okay? But it's hidden within us, okay? It's got to be brought up to the surface, okay? And so then you start learning, right? But you get up here, but now before you start wrestling heavily, okay? Heavily with the Lord. But once that wrestling is done, and he's like, you're not all that. No, you think you know, but you don't know. You only know what lower man has taught you. I don't care how long it's been going, You need to know what that really means on a higher divine level, okay? This is your raising of your spirit. This is your transformation. This is your laying down sleeping, and you sit up, and when we sit up, okay, we arise, right? We arise, yawn, we stretch, we get ready for the day. Then we put our feet on the ground, right? And so this is your whole process of waking up. Then you're sitting up, okay? And then you rise up and you're standing on your feet, okay? See, this is your whole, you're not sitting, you're standing. When you stand, you can walk. You can walk, you can run. You have to wake up first, okay? So you have to get out of this bubble that everybody's in. Because it keeps us in fear of, okay, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, didn't manifest. Not to say, now I understand that whole period of when I started going through that whole middle section. I was talking about the dates, because the dates are still important. Because numbers are always important to God, and the dates are always important because they're patterned. They tell a history, and they tell a future, okay? But and they're markers. They're all marker dates, okay? They're all marker dates. But everything was fizzling. Nothing was manifesting. These events were being aborted, is what it was. The events were being aborted because up there, up above us, the angelic army, was breaking through the darkness. And the plots that were about to be birthed into manifestation into this world were being aborted, okay? So that's why they were not occurring. So when you start learning at this higher level, and you have to pray for divine, you have to pray for divine, because it's hidden in plain sight, okay? The higher truth is the higher truth. You got to climb that ladder. This is Jacob's ladder. See, you got to climb that ladder, okay? So when you start learning, because you have said, okay, I'm going to let him teach me. See, he has to be your teacher, not your pastor, not your preacher, not anybody. He's got to be it. And then when you go back and you read the basic plain version of the word that we have in front of us, because it's been just stripped of it, everything is just your basic plan, when you read it, it comes to life. It illuminates. It truly does. The words just, and you go, oh my God, I know what that means. But you have to go and you have to find the origins of the words. What words are now today is not how they started out to be. Same meaning, okay? I talk about this through my whole videos, okay? I've been going back and watching them because I'm learning so much, because I can see exactly how they fit today. It's making me cry. It's making me absolutely cry. But what good would it do if after all this learning, and you have to give up the world, you have to understand this. When he says you have to come out of the world and you have to give it up, you have to get out of that world, that teaching, okay? Your transformation, your processional up, okay, to the union is what it is. You have to be taught. Bottom line is, you got to learn the heavenly truth. I keep saying, start your wicks here, start your candles here, start your sparks here. Because when everybody gets to a point, okay, you're the one that, and this is most of the church, okay, most of the Christians that think they know the word. See, they've rested. They rested too soon because they're sleeping in the church pews because they think they know it. So that what they do is they repeat the words. They repeat the verses of the Bible over and over and over and over. It's just regurgitated word. You have never gone to search the higher meaning. The Bible, if it's for 5-year-olds and it's for 95-year-olds, you have to grow with that. There's layers. There's so many layers. It's just going from earth to heaven. Okay? And so, just quoting scripture, that's easy. Knowing it, that's a whole nother story. Okay? So much better. You have no idea what you're missing. Because you're not about, and I talked about this in my very first videos, and I'm telling you, I talk straight from the heart. Everything I got, the Lord gave me. And then the Father gave me. Okay? Because you start. It's the pride before the fall, and that's what it is. You have to accept the fact that, yes, you were faithful, and you went to church, and that you studied and taught, but you've been on a merry-go-round. Okay, you've just around the mountain. It's the Israelites going around the mountain over and over and over and over and over. You don't know. You don't know it. Therefore, you don't know. You don't know God. Meaning. Throughout the Bible, he says, "Then they shall know I am God. Then they shall know I am God." I never understood that. I was like, well, everybody knows who he is, or you know. I mean, why would he say that over and over and over and over and over? Now I so understand. Because higher, you know, or lower, you know the earthly version. You don't know the divine heavenly version. Okay, so what's going to happen is all that scary stuff that the church has waited for here, that's not going to manifest here. Okay, if you don't start your journey, if you don't start on your path, if you don't get on that ladder, you're going to experience it at a higher level. Okay, that's what's going to happen. So you have to learn to see with your ears and hear with your eyes. Okay, and you have faith. You have faith, and you trust in that faith that it's work. He's work every day. He takes your full attention. Okay, going to church on Sunday and then maybe reading a couple scriptures throughout the week ain't gonna cut it. Ain't gonna cut it. It's just like being an anon. I've been a residential anon. That's what I call myself, a residential anon. I've been one for 20 years. Right? So, this, though, is tied in with that because they're both truths, right? They're both truths. What's the odds I'm in both of them? You know? I just knew because of where I worked and who I worked for, and it was just in me. You know, I just knew it wasn't right. But having it, being in that environment, working for the cabal and not really knowing I was working for the cabal, and now being able to literally match everybody up around the world over and over and over and over and over, all the way down to the core hub, okay? It's so easy for me to put the companies together, the names together, families together, everything. Because once you figure out their system, it's quite easy, you can do it. Because how they name their companies, they name their LLCs, their, you know, their corporations, whatever. There's a pattern, there's a rhythm, okay? And if there's one, if somebody does a deal, okay, or is in a group deal or in a partnership with somebody, okay, it's not random. They're just not in it once, okay? If they're in with one, they're in with 10. If they're in with 10, you know, this time, then it just keeps multiplying. So the thing is, they're just not in it that one deal, okay? I guarantee there's 100 other ones that are offshoots of that, right? You learn how they name, learn how they do. It could be if you have 3 guys in a company, what's the first initial of their middle names? Okay? That's very common, right? What's their, you know, I can't, anyway. So, but I got both of these going, right? Now I understand it. Because, yeah, you can see. Because now I can go back to my videos and I can also match them exactly today. Today. It's so nuts. It's so crazy. Because now you have I have an understanding of who the angelics really are, who we really are. Okay, who we were, who we are, and who we're going to be, right? Right. Okay. It is the lower, you know, it starts in that lower teaching. Now everybody's gotten comfortable because they're in the earth, okay, the world teaching really is what it is. You don't even realize it, okay? This is a world church. This is an earthly church. This is not the heavenly church. Okay, so everything, you have to learn what water really means, okay? What all these words go to, you have to learn gematria, everything, when you're in it like this, okay? Because everybody wants to call themselves the bride. You have no idea who you're marrying. None. You have no idea who you're marrying. All you have to do is go to Patterns of the Bible because the stories are all laid out there. Jacob, it's flipped. Jacob thought he was marrying the love of his life, Rachel. And it was his sister. It was her sister, right? It's patterns, repeat. Repeat. I'm not a know-it-all, but I will tell you, I know this, I know him. I have given up my entire life for this. He's my witness. He's my witness. I can't be my own witness. Okay? Well, I go back and watch videos 4 years ago. I'm literally bawling because I'm like, I didn't even know I knew that. I didn't even know I knew that. How did I know that? How did that just come out of my mouth? I don't even remember saying it. You know? Because the teaching was that deep. But it's that good because you can see me when I'm literally working through it. What you are watching in my videos, you are watching me climb the ladder. You are watching me wrestle with God. You are watching the process. You are watching the process. Is what you're watching. So I know how to say it. It's so easy because on Twitter, again, I came in battling for the greatest president, right? In history. Because he's special. You know that. He's very special. Such a higher thing too. But I had to come in and battle. I had to give what there are things I learned, and there are things that I've researched for so many years that I never thought would come out. I know that they're right. I know that they are, and it's a shame that now that so much is hidden and taken off, that unless you started way back when, a lot of that raw truth, that is gone. Those truthers, those real truthers, real whistleblowers have been killed, and their all their information, removed cleaned from the internet. But you still have to dig. You have to dig. And you can't be I don't believe it. I gotta, okay. I can't constantly keep going and finding all these stories going, no, I found that back 15 years ago on blah, 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 blah. Let me go to my files and pull this up for you, okay? At some point, you gotta make a stand. You're in or you're out, okay? You can't pick this little picking all the time of what you're going to believe and what you're not going to believe, Do your own homework, okay? Which, it might take hours, it might take days, it might take weeks, it might take months. You never know. You don't know how long it's going to take until you find the truth. You really don't. But all this is about not judging. Not judging. Everything I said in those videos is absolutely true. And I talk about how we don't know who's on what side. And I'm talking angelic form, okay? That how God has sent some, here and here and here, and don't think you know exactly how the fallen fell and the true story of that. Because the thing is, as people go up, because we all have that light, you don't fall here, okay? It's when everybody gets to a point, and if you don't know, if you don't have a higher heavenly divine understanding and knowledge, okay, because they're not what? It sets you free, right? Correct. You're not set free, okay? So you got to go back. So you're going to slide back down that ladder. You're going to fall. Everybody's going to fall. That's how you fall. You got to go back and learn. You got to go back and hit those seals, hit those kingdoms, hit those doors. You have to go back down and hit those waters, those bowls, whatever you want to call it, because they all hold a key, okay? They're like your menorah. And the menorah, yeah, I said 7 candles. They have 8. Some have 9, It's the processional. As you go up, okay, it lights your path, meaning it's giving you truth, okay? And it's telling you which way to walk. So you're not afraid, You're not listening to man. You're not listening to anybody. You're listening to God, okay? Because we're the lampstands, right? Right. So here you're got your menorah, and you got one truth, got a candle lit. See, you want to get a bunch lit here. So the more you unseal at a heavenly divine understanding level, the more full light you already have, the more transformed you already are. The process going up is the transformation process. But if you don't have any candles lit, you're walking a dark path. So the processional, the wedding processional, is lighting this. Okay, it's unsealing what's been sealed. Okay, and it's the truth. They're all of Him. They're all of Jesus. They're all the sevenfold spirits. They're all of Him. And you got to bring the land back together. When the flood happened, the land split apart. You got to bring the land back together. The waters have to subside. What are waters? Waters are truths. Waters are beliefs, traditions, peoples. They are folklore. They are stories of truth. Okay, and so what happens is when those waters start to subside into the ground, into the earth, okay, the land comes together as a one whole piece, meaning the world, you know, everything goes back together. You don't have all those different truths. See what I'm saying? You don't have all those different truths. The land is being healed. That's you. That's me. We're the land. We're the land. So you have to get all those truths out of there. Okay, and again, Earth is always on 3, you're learning 3 levels here because you always have 3 timelines going in place at the same time, okay? So, so as you learn, your light just starts shining brighter and brighter and brighter. You know where to walk, you know where to put your foot, you know where to step, you know, not to hear over here, over there, over here, over there. That's what all this means. You know to keep your eyes straight because he's your teacher. If you don't understand the words of those Bible, I'm telling you, if you actually still think a temple, okay, we're going back to spirit. We are the temple. You are individual. You are the temple. We are the temple. Okay. The big temple that everybody thinks will get, built in Israel, okay, is so much higher than what you're understanding it to be. Okay? So much higher. And what really Israel is, things here are a shadow, So, before you get to the group, okay, you have to get, I've said this a million times, take the Bible individually, okay, individual. It's talking to you. Every event in there, everything, every book in there is directed to you, singly, okay? You can't get grouped until you know the Father, okay? Until you reside in the Father's house. That's spirit. That's Christ spirit. That's Christ consciousness, okay? That's what that is. You can't get there. That's when you become a group. That's when mind to mind, heart to heart, okay? They talk about without talking, and everybody, you don't have to use words, because you're all on the same level. You're all on the same, you're all part of the Father in that spirit. You all have that same spirit. All right. But first, you have to get the spirit. You have a lower spirit, okay? A lower truth. Okay, this is the new wine in the old wine sacks. This is what all this is. You can't put new wine in old wine sacks. You have to, I fell, I'm sorry, I fell and hit my mouth, so I'm talking kind of funny because I have to. But I can't take this anymore. So, if you don't go higher, you're going to go lower. That's just the way it is. Okay? So many are struggling because they're waking up to the world to see the events and who's the bad, they're finally seeing the false flags, the, crisis actors, just all that stuff that we've all known for a very long time. So, which is good. But you got to wake up to the heavenly word. Okay? Word. You're waking, it's always two totally different things. And so, I just went because I'm trying so hard, and it just comes out. When I text anything on my phone, even on Twitter, if I'm replying, when I'm talking to anybody on the phone, and I'm doing it, it just flows. It just comes right out. I will tell you, it's the Lord. It just comes right out. But you have so many now that want so much to get it. But they don't want to feel stupid. They don't want to feel like, well, I've been in the church for 30, 40 years. What do you mean? And I don't know. I did video upon video on that exact thing. And that's what's happening right now. So, well, I'm just going to know, I just know what I read. I just know what I read and what that Bible says. And Jesus is coming on the clouds to get us. And we're going to be raptured. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because you don't know what a cloud is. We have an information cloud, right? We're going back to spirit, okay? His spirit blows the wind, right? The early rains, the latter rains, something that rains down. He's in the clouds. The rain, okay, sent down from the clouds is his Holy Spirit, which is allowing the opening of the veil of the veil for you to receive a higher teaching. That's Jesus coming on the clouds. Okay? So you can have a chance to start learning. Okay? He's going to pour out, rain out, pour out, because what is water? Truth, right? So his truth, he's bringing down. Okay? Christ Jesus. He went from Jesus Christ, lower to higher, Christ Jesus. Now he's going to come down and he's going to pour out his truth. He's going to rain it out. Okay? That's what pours down from the clouds. What do clouds carry? Water. Oh my gosh, I can't even take it. So, that's the first step. That's the first step. But anyway, so I just can't battle like that anymore. And so I'm just going to stick with what. So now I find myself having to switch lanes now from my, Anon status. Now I have to switch over to my God school, right? To my friend to heaven. Because I didn't know why. I need to be bird on the wire. I think I'm going to do a thing called, bird on a wire. Because that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm sitting on the line up there, the line, the silver and the gold line, and I'm hollering down the truth. It's so frustrating. But you have to let go of all the pride and everything, because everybody has to start over. You have to start over from scratch, okay? You have to be a new child. You have to go childlike, okay? You truly have to be childlike. And if you don't do it on your own, God, I've said this so many times, you don't go kicking and screaming.